To me, the Balance Planner is the evolved state of the MindJournal. But that doesn't mean that you have to start with the MindJournal. As a quick refresh, MindJournal, the brand, is a men's-based journal company with their mission of getting guys to journal more, which they do in a lot of different approaches with their journals and their planners. The MindJournal, which we actually previously reviewed as a daily step-by-step guided journal to kickstart your journaling practice. Similar to the MindJournal, the Balance Planner includes check-ins, mindfulness journaling, and prompts to help you uncover your best self. In the Balance Planner, you're going to see monthly, weekly, and daily views along with 30, 60, and 90-day check-ins. But where the Balance Planner differs from the MindJournal is in its planning focus. The Balance Planner is part productivity tool, part wellness coach, and overall designed to help you dream big, eliminate any doubts that you might have, and even achieve the impossible, or at least that's what it says on the front of this notebook. Spec-wise, you're looking at an A5 sized journal. There's 264 ivory pages. There are 110 GSM, so they're going to hold on to most of the pens that you're going to use in a journal like this. It's an undated format, so you can start anytime. And the notebook itself is a nice vegan leather and comes in this really nice smoke gray color. An added feature of this notebook is you have 2 bookmarks that I think are incredibly helpful when navigating where and when you are in this planner. Personally, I'd like to see 3 of them, but we'll get into that later. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the features of the Balance Planner a little more closely. To get started, we're actually going to start in the back. In the back of this notebook, there's an entire section here with a helpful toolkits to help you get started. Because in the beginning of this notebook and throughout, you're focused on goal setting and self-care. And if you're not used to doing those types of things, then someone needs to teach you, and MindJournal and the Balance Planner are here for you. There's a link in the bottom of the page that actually takes you to the manual for the Balance Planner that you can read through and download and continue to use as a resource. I actually found that starting back here was incredibly helpful because the whole first section here is talking all about goal setting. You may have done goal setting at some point in your life. We do this at work, actually, and we use a SMART goal setting, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. But the Balance Planner takes it 2 steps further with evaluating and readjusting. The back of this notebook is going to help you set 3 smarter goals. On each one of these pages, you're going to get a smarter checklist, room here to write out your goal, a set timeline on the span in which you're setting that, what life category is this goal related to, a prompt on what's motivating this and why this goal is important in your life, and a whole section here for milestones and key dates for you to achieve that. One of my favorite parts of this journal also is it's reward-based. It's a really great way to motivate yourself to get something done, so you can actually jot down a reward that you're going to give yourself and when you got that reward. If you are interested in continuing to or add habit tracking into your journaling and planning process and practice, there's 3 pages back here for you to do this. Because the Balance Planner is a 90-day planner, gives you everything that you're going to need to get started. And if you haven't done habit tracking before, it references the manual so you can learn a little bit more before you get into the practice. At the top page of your habit trackers, there's a title here for the month where you can write that in. Because this is an undated planner, you pick up and you put down whenever you want to. The Balance Planner is going to give you everything that you need inside of this grid. You don't have to create anything yourself. You have the days of the week. You have the numbers 1 through 31. Of course, if it's a month that has only 30 dates, you don't use that last one. There's space over here on the left-hand side for you to track 16 different habits and then check boxes across each of those for when you accomplish those each day. Of all the different trackers out there, the self-care plan is something that maybe can feel a little uncomfortable, at least for most guys, or really anyone, to be honest with you. What I like about this is that this is a reflective exercise of something that we, or at least I, don't typically think about. But why might this work for you? Well, it's laid out for you completely here, and all you have to do is follow along. Similar to the other templates, you're going to have 3 of these self-care plans, 1 for each month during this 90-day planner. You'll put the date at the top for each of the months that you have, and then you go right into the template for each of these pages. Across the top, you're going to evaluate your self-care from a scale from 1 to 10, but you're going to do that for each of these categories: physical, emotional, professional, social, financial, and spiritual. Next, it's going to prompt you to pick 3 of the categories from the top that you're going to focus on. And then you're going to set 3 self-care activities that you're going to do to accomplish those. It's also asking you to document what blockers you might have from stopping you to do those, but what solutions might you find that are going to help you overcome those blockers. So once you've worked through these 3 tools in the back here, or at least the goal section, and honestly, I think the self-care plan is really nice too, then you can go ahead and kick into the planner part of this notebook. What I've always appreciated about MindJournal is they talk to you as an actual human being. It's relatable, it's fun, and it's telling you exactly what you need to know. And as a guy, and since these are kind of aimed towards guys, maybe that's exactly what we need. But honestly, I think it's great for everybody. Once you open it up, you'll find all the contents in here, each of the views that we'll be going through monthly, weekly, daily. You'll have your 30, 60, and 90-day reviews. You have your toolkits in the back, and then also an area for notes that we'll take a look at the end. They're also explaining how each of these are going to use, and also a reminder that if you need to download the Balance Planner manual to do so, what's great is it's going to go ahead and give you examples of everything that we just talked about so far and really help make sure that you're taking this planner on in the best possible way so you feel prepared and honest and open to exploring this. The monthly view is the highest level in the Balance Planner. In the top left, you're going to go and start by putting the year and then circling the month that you're in. I love this quote that's on here as you get started. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't get done. The practice of writing things down is so important, and we'll be writing and rewriting to really ingrain what we're trying to accomplish as a part of this planner, which is really important. On the calendar itself, you're not going to find any dates. You're just going to find the days of the week. So the first thing you'll do in each month is fill in the dates according to when you're getting started and the year in which you're doing it. Over on the right-hand side, that's when you're going to get into your planning and your monthly goal setting. That's where using the toolkit in the back of this notebook is really important. It helps you prepare for the rest of this notebook. The first is going to be, what areas are you going to focus on? Are they physical, emotional, professional, social, financial, spiritual? They even give you areas to add in your own if you want. It asks what 3 goals or tasks are you working towards in this entire month? Why are these important? What's going to help you achieve those goals? And then, as I mentioned in the back, how are you going to reward yourself for accomplishing the things that are inside of here? The organization of this planner has all 3 of your months right here at the beginning, so you'll come back and forth to these pages as you're going through. You might even consider putting one of your bookmarks inside of here to easily refer back to it as you're setting up your next part as we go into those weekly views. Your weekly views are designed for short-term planning. This section is going to have 12 weeks in total, and it's taking all of those big rocks that we talked about in that monthly overview, and then we're going to start breaking them down into more achievable pieces. I personally am a big advocate for weekly planning. It's actually what I do inside of my bullet journal, and I love the weekly view for planning, especially for planning or journaling at work. In the top left, we have the week in which this is happening, so you'll add those dates, and then you'll circle the month in which you're in. The weekly preview includes all 7 days of the week, and you can add your own dates in there, and then each one is going to have 4 main areas of focus with checkboxes, so you can check those off as you go throughout your week. Over on the right-hand side of the page, this is all about reflection. The first thing you're going to do is rate your week on a scale of 1 to 10. A weekly reflection: what did you achieve this week? Continuing down the page, what did you learn? What were your 3 wins? Then it's going to ask you to review the task list that you had. What's delayed, what's blocked, and then what's been rescheduled. It's also going to ask you to review your time tracker, which is available in the daily view, which we'll look at in just a moment. What are your tasks? What were your distractions? And what have you done for self-care? There's also a small section over here for notes. I wouldn't look at this as a weekly note-taking space, more small notes or things that are coming up that you want to remember as you're going throughout your week. This is a 3-month planner, so all of your weeks will be in this section. Another great place as you're going week to week to put one of your bookmarks. The next section here is your day view. This is the most productive space in this planner. This is where you're going to break down all of your weekly goals and tasks. And now we're going to break them even further and putting them into place day to day. On the left-hand side, you'll see the date, and then you also see the day of the week, which you'll circle on here. It's going to ask you for a little bit of reflection as you get started in your day. How can you achieve balance today, and what are going to be your key motivators? Next, you're going to set your top 3 priorities for the day, and this is also going to be your time block. This is where you're going to pay attention to how much time you've put towards those priorities. The bottom section focuses on your tasks, your self-care plan, and your activity tracking. There's a key here at the top, checking it off if it's done, circling if it's delayed, and crossing it out if it's deleted. With a continuation on the self-care plan, you'll go ahead and fill in the space here on what you're going to be focusing on in that day, and also tracking any extra activities that you have that are going on. The right-hand side of the page includes a mood tracker, scale of 1 to 10, as we've seen in other places, a large section for your notes. This is where you're taking those daily notes and really focusing versus over on that weekly view. And then this is the time tracker section, specifically here for tasks, distractions, and self-care, with a range between 0 and 8+ hours in that day. This is a really important section to pay attention to, especially if you're finding that you're not having enough time to get your work done. Perhaps there's too many distractions in your day and you're not focusing enough on the task at hand. This is the area where I thought that third bookmark would become really handy, because that way you could easily open up to the bookmark for your week and then easily open back up to get to your month. I guess in the grand scheme of things, since the monthly is here in the beginning, you could always just use this bookmark for your daily, since that'll be moving more often than your monthly is, and it's easy to find. As you're working through this journal, and after you get past your 30-day mark, you're going to go into your 30-day review. In the MindJournal way, this is how they like to check in on your progress and make sure that you're doing okay. This section is going to focus on your top achievements that happened in those first 30 days, the top 3 lessons that you learned in those first 30 days. There's also a balance reflection here. How do you feel about your progress so far? And what might you improve on moving forward? What are you going to keep doing? What are you going to stop doing? And then what are the next priority task items that you're going to focus on over the next 30 days? Then there's a small section for notes here if you want to journal, reflect a little bit more, or write down any other important notes for that 30-day review. Your 60-day review is going to be exactly the same as your 30, but the most important one here is going to be the 90-day review. This is taking place at the very end of your last page inside of your balance planner. You're still going to reflect on your top achievements and what you've learned, but this whole section here changes. What do you feel about this journey at this moment? You spent the last 90 days reflecting and thinking about and working in a different way than you might have been before. The next section focused on what improvements you've made or seen over the last 90 days. If you're a type of person that hasn't focused a lot on yourself or your goals or your task or really broken things down before, has this planner changed anything for you? And then one of my favorite parts, what's your reward? How are you going to celebrate all of the goals and all of the achievements that you've gone through over these past 90 days? Write it down in here, take some notes, and really reflect on what this has felt like for you. If at any point you need extra room for reflection or work notes or anything else that are going on, there are a number of pages in the back of this notebook that you can write down a few collections inside of. It's only 16 pages or 8 spreads, so this isn't going to really cover you, I think, for a long period of time, but it could be helpful and maybe a good breakdown over those 90 days that you're working. So who is this planner for? I think this planner is best for anyone who needs the extra prompts and structure around how they are planning. There is nothing new to create in here. There's no calendars to design or anything about layout. And also there's good and simple structures to this planner that I don't think that you're going to find in other pre-made journals. This could also be a good switch up journal if you found that your bullet journal or other planning system isn't super successful for you. There's definitely a lot to learn in this journal, from how to create smart goals, track your habits, and even overall set yourself up for success. If you want to give this planner a try, head to mindjournals.com and you can use code MENWHOBullet10N, and that's going to get you 10% off the balance planner, the MindJournal, or any other products from their site. I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below if you think the balance planner is something that might benefit you in your life, help you set those smarter goals, focus on self-care if that's not something you've done before, and overall be a great template and form to help you achieve what you're trying to do within your life. I'll talk with you next time. See ya.